What if rainfalls similar to the ones in Wind Waker caused a flood in Holodrum and Subrosia? How would the world look like? Thanks to number 16 Calbax for suggesting this idea. To keep the topic of this video simple, I will stick to this simple premise and structure the video around it. This is what this video is about. If I were to just analyze the effects of Holodrum getting flooded, then this video would be rather straightforward. However, the existence of Subrosia makes this topic way more complicated. So, how would a flood affect Subrosia? Subrosia canonically lies below Holodrum, so I imagine and assume that physical or at least magical links between both worlds exist. The water would go through the portals and enter Subrosia. Now, the thing is that Subrosia has lava, like lots and lots of lava. I'm no physicist or geologist, so this is way out of my area of expertise. All I can semi-confidently say, I did some research, is that the water would start to evaporate when coming into contact with the lava. This resulting steam would then push from below against the earth ceiling, probably filling Subrosia with a sort of mist and increase the air humidity there. What the consequences of this are, I have no idea, so I won't talk about it further. Here's a sketch of what I'm envisioning. I'm not sure if I should assume that enough water flows down to eventually put out all the lava. If the portals continuously stay open, then a stable stream of water will flow into Subrosia. But that's all I'm going to say about the second world in Oracle of Seasons. Now let's assume that Subrosia is saturated, or that the portals are closed. What would happen to Holodrum in that case? While the liquid in the Great Sea is magical water, it technically still is water, so I'll assume that normal properties of water still apply. Holodrum has a southern coast, so we can reasonably assume that the water comes from here first and flows inwards, even while rain is falling from above. If we assume that the water comes from the surrounding ocean, then Holodrum gets hit first by the flood. The portals to Subrosia probably can't immediately take in all the water that's pouring down from the sky onto the lands, so Holodrum would still get flooded even while Subrosia is taking in water. I won't specify a detailed time period of how long it takes for the following events to play out, just as we don't have a specific time frame for Hyrule getting flooded in Wind Waker. In general, we can pay attention to the following areas during the events of Holodrum's flooding. 1. The Southern Sea. 2. The wetlands in Spool Swamp. 3. Sunken City and the river west of it in Natsu Prairie. 4. The river in Goron Mountain and Mount Kaku. At first, we have to look where water is already present in Holodrum, so the adjacent places get flooded first. This means that the Southern Sea, Spool Swamp, Holodrum Plain, the Sunken City and various rivers and waterfalls are of interest. The Southern Sea is a large body of water, although we can only see glimpses of it in-game, and is located, as the name implies, in the very south of Holodrum. Another important spot is the river flowing from the northeast to the west of Holodrum. Its source lies in Mount Kaku, flowing down the mountain range into the Sunken City and turning west into a large stretch in Natsu Prairie, before finally forming a large body of water in Holodrum Plain and Spool Swamp, where it ends. Some smaller bodies of water of medium and small size are found in North Horon, Eyeglass Lake, the Woods of Winter and Samaza Desert. Now, how do things unfold if Holodrum gets flooded? The Southern Sea starts its unstoppable expansion northwards, expanding into parts of the western coast, the eastern suburbs, and Sahara Desert. Nearly every body of water starts expanding and growing in size, swallowing up land in Spool Swamp, Holodrum Plain, North Huron, Eyeglass Lake, the Woods of Winter, and Mount Cuckoo. The sunken city is basically gone in this early stage of the flood already. Now the steady, relentless flow of the Southern Sea really becomes noticeable, reducing the western coasts and Sahara Desert's land masses further. The water in Spool Swamp and Mount Cuckoo expands slightly, while in the Woods of Winter, the previously small body of water in the southeast takes up a large portion of the area by now. Now things really begin to change. The Southern Sea continues to expand northwards, now covering the entirety of the western coast and Sahara Desert, and entering into Huron Village and the eastern suburbs. Despite Huron Village having some cliffs to the south and west to initially protect it from water coming from the sea during the rain, it won't last for long. Spool Swamp and the Woods of Winter are now almost entirely covered by water as well, while the graveyard just barely remains empty of water. Some basins can't contain the rain anymore, and water begins to cover North Huron and Eyeglass Lake. The first waterfalls begin to form in various areas like Mount Cuckoo, the sunken city, the western coast, and Sahara Desert. Most flat places in Holodrum are now flooded. Huron Village, the eastern suburbs, and the graveyard, North Huron, Eyeglass Lake, Spool Swamp, and the Woods of Winter are now completely submerged, with more waterfalls forming in the southwest and south of Holodrum. The lower parts of Natsu Prairie get flooded as well. These were the biggest changes Holodrum had to face. With the flatter and lower land masses now completely flooded, the water stops expanding horizontally, but still submerges any structure remaining in the south, even the Mako tree. Many waterfalls form, especially in the west, southwest, and south of Holodrum. Many remaining cliffs in the south now get submerged. Some waterfalls even disappear, because the water has now risen so high to cancel out the change in elevation. Only a few islands remain in the south. I decided to let the rain stop at this point. This is now the final coastline of a new flooded Holodrum. Well, how does our new Holodrum look like? It is immediately noticeable that many parts of the southern and western Holodrum are flooded. Spool Swamp, Holodrum Plain, and Natsu Prairie are the new southern coast of Holodrum, partially Goron Mountain and Mount Cuckoo as well. Every area south of that is completely submerged underwater. Many waterfalls have formed. The river in Goron Mountain and Mount Cuckoo might still be crossable, so the western and eastern lands aren't isolated from each other. Maybe the water on high grounds will disappear and recede first, revealing and enlarging the land masses of Holodrum in the north. The Koroks in Wind Waker say that they plan to plant seeds and grow a forest in order to make land appear again, so maybe this could be an option as well by the Mako tree. Well, that's my take on what would happen if Holodrum gets flooded. Do you agree or disagree with my view? Write it down in the comments. That's all for this video. It was really interesting making it, and I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.